all code together in the open, and so on. As they've been doing this, the teams keep talking to each other and work together to try to get better at open source. TypeScript has a phenomenal community around it. So does Java. Different community, but very, very, very large, very vocal, very interested. Now, instead of going to build with, so that's the first part. Let's look at some core development, core Microsoft strategy, .NET, TypeScript, Java, develop those in the open. Let's correctly integrate with other open source projects. Instead of inventing something or reinventing something, why not just license and work with existing projects like Cordova, like Docker, and I like to do? Why reinvent it for something else when it's probably better for the community at large? To say, let's go ahead and just integrate with an existing one. So rather than build our own virtual container strategy, run Docker on Azure. Have fun. Use something that's already out there. And then finally, let's look at interoperability. Git is fundamental at this point to open source. We're not going to release things under TFS or TF version control. It's going to be under Git. That's what the community uses. Look at different web frameworks, why compete with different things, interoperate with them. And let's look at Linux. Why shouldn't .NET run on Linux? There are some technical issues that have to be overcome, but it's certainly worth doing, and it's certainly worth putting together. How do we get that to happen internally? Microsoft's a big organization. Suddenly going from where it was to Satya saying Microsoft loves Linux, that's a big internal change. So start with education. We have a strong executive emphasis to say this is the direction we're going. There's some internal sites that people can look at to learn more about how open source works, because people are new to it. If you're on an engineering team, you will go through training on open source and how that's working. Because you have to respond to community members, you have to work with them in an appropriate manner. Depending on what your particular role is, you'll get more. So, process and tooling. This is first make it easy to do the right thing. At different times, we may have all worked in companies where it was not allowed to bring open source in at all. It was just saying, no, don't do it. You don't touch that. It would be evil. Don't go there. Okay, so let's make it easy to bring in open source responsibly. Make it very easy to check licenses. Make it very easy to get the reviews that says, yes, you can use this project. It's already on the approved list. So on. Any consumption or any distribution of open source gets tracked. So Microsoft knows, hey, we're distributing jQuery. Okay, that was tracked. It's allowed. You can distribute jQuery with MVC. Any consumption used internally is also tracked. Make sure Microsoft is obeying the licenses of any project it uses. Contributions and engagements are tracked. You know, when Damien and David Fowler created SignalR, okay, let's have a process to make that easy. But not a big process, something that makes it easy to do it. Rationalize the OSS policies, and adjust the review system because this is something that's changing. And then finally, share that experience in a lot of different ways. Internal networking events, people engaged in open source. So working with the open source project is now a core competency for an engineering team at Microsoft. Think of that and compare it to 10 years ago. Working with OSS is a core competency to be an engineer at Microsoft. Very true. Small to central open source program, advice, mentoring, and so on. Legal counsel, it's very easy to reach legal people to get good answers to questions. Email and Yammer lists, which is one of the interesting things. If we look at email, Microsoft's a very email-centric company. So Jared Parsons is on the C# team, sending out a picture with or an email to folks on his team, complete with pictures of his new child, and the response from another team member is, looks good to merge, cool. Okay, so really adopting that open source kind of idea. Comment comes back, let's merge this. Okay, so if you're really interested, if you like this concept, if you want to begin, alright, so start getting involved. Look at github.com.net, that's where all of the repositories are. You can see everything is part of that foundation. Read along with Orange design notes. In particular, the C# and VB design notes are published whenever the team meets. They're published and take comments. Comments are responded to. You have a say in where these products go. That's probably the most important message of the end of this. And, depending on exactly how interested you are in any of these things, go ahead and contribute. Go ahead and start your own project. Enjoy the open source ecosystem as well. A major goal is to make .NET the single most vibrant open source ecosystem anywhere. And that's what we want to do with the .NET Foundation. And with that, thank you. And there's links to reach me, look at the .NET Foundation, or see where any of the content that we have is involving open source, and I'm happy to take any questions. Those waffles wasn't good today. I had to be here, I couldn't get any. So, thank you.